Guess we're gonna do another one just to show you guys. Muchie. We're in California and we got a little video for you guys. We're gonna show you how to make power with an NA rotary. Obviously there's different types of intake setups for a rotary, and that's the most important part on making power in an NA. So with turbo applications, how do you make power, John?
Good old elite intake.
You get an intake that looks cool.
Well, these
big runners.
a little better in the factory, and that's what you want it.
And then you push boost through it. So on an NA engine, you don't push boost. So, and there goes the door.
We gotta go.
Got goes. All right, so on an NA engine, obviously, flow is how you make power. So intake comes into play, exhaust comes into play, and knowing what the hell you're doing with tuning, big, huge factor. So there's different types of intakes for a rotary. So usually there's the Weber style, then there's the Holley style, and this is like an example of a custom one, like slider throttle bodies. So if you don't have the right intake system on a rotary, you're not gonna make power. Doesn't matter how well the engine's built. If you don't have the flow,
no matter what fuel, what computer, doesn't matter. Like, it comes down to the intake and then the exhaust.
Yes. So equal length runners, the right sizing, the right intake flowing, the right size of the ITBs. You know, there's from 38 to 51 millimeters. Everything has to be done correctly. We're gonna have an example of a Holley style intake. Super simple. And we're gonna show you how you can just make power on them. You know, these styles, like we like to use on semi-peripherals and street ports. And street port setup, we have one making 215. Is it?
218. The carburetor.
218. So 218 street port rotary. You know, carbureted. So where this one is semi-peripheral with the ITBs fuel injected. So this should be more in the 230 range, and then you have
this is going to Miata, so it's basically the same engine we've been building for like everyone. So it's a semi-peripheral ITB, and the goal for this engine is like at least like 250, 260 ohm motor, and then 100 shot through it and make 300s.
The one we're going to show you next is a peripheral port, so it has 2 ports. And obviously it makes it made a lot of power, and we ran nitrous to it. So
could have made more, but the problem that it had is what everyone has is that they're just used to having old shit in the car, and they don't like have new technology. So his headers are just shit. Like,
yeah,
I'll show you a good example of headers, which are these. So this is the repo I've been working on, and this is like the really good setup for the intake. So this is a motorcycle throttle bodies. I made the manifold myself. But under it, you can see headers. That's how you're supposed to do headers in a rotary. You can't just run them like basically separate or short. They have to be equal length. They have to have enough to collect at a certain point to actually make the powers. You can't just make headers that look cool. Pretty much, they have to actually work.
The car that we're showing you next could have made a little bit more if it had the correct header setup. So, you know, that's something we're gonna improve upon later. Enjoy the video. All right, what do we got here, Alex?
We got Street GLC.
2 GLCs to tune. One is his, which is the clean one, and then the black one's Alex's, and both of them.
This is a very stock, very pretty.
Have GLC. Rotaries.
We got a little shot of nitrous.
So one's carbureted, one's fuel injected, both nitrous.
Yep.
So this thing's pretty nice, tubbed out. And then we have this one, that's the drag one. So this originally used to run carbureted only. It used to run 7.2s, and then and it was peripheral port carburetor, no nitrous, ran 7.2s. We put the street port turbo engine, nothing crazy, ran 7.0s, and now we're putting back the peripheral port engine, but we're adding nitrous to it to bring it down into the 6s. Got the side exhaust. And it's a peripheral port.
This one's gonna have a little bit more nitrous.
A little bit.
A little bit.
So this originally used to be the turbo one. You never did any videos on it.
No, it's in the intro video.
Yeah. So yeah, oh yeah, this is the intro drag car. And used to be turbo, now it's peripheral port. So it used to be have a street port, now it's full peripheral port, nitrous, and it's got a Pro J throttle body. And it's still on C16, but the only difference is now it's NA nitrous. We're gonna put both of them on the dyno, see what they do, and take them to the track probably
Next week.
next week. Yeah, this week they closed for rain, so we're gonna take them out next week. Got it on the lift, so now we're gonna put it on the dyno, strap it down, and switch it from map to TPS base. I'll try to get in here. Yeah. All right, so I had to tell the ECU that nitrous is being activated. Obviously, it's gonna be activated with a button, and it's that way it pulls timing. What are you doing, Alex?
Nothing.
I haven't even turned it on. He's already putting nitrous on it. Hard through some belts, so we're gonna have to get that aligned before we do it. But I guess we'll have to get another bracket. Last time on the dyno, the GLC was throwing belts. Let me turn this off. And Alex put a 5-rib on it and replaced the alternator. We had alternator problems, and we had belt problems, and then we had coil problems, so the car was breaking up a lot. So now that all these things are fixed, we're 280 at 10.5, so we're revving it to 11,000. So you know, we just gotta take some fuel away from the top end, but this is just all motor. You know, it's got nitrous, but we're not using it yet, so it's all motor right now. We're probably gonna do a couple more pulls to get it around 290, and then we're gonna do nitrous pulls. That's the first nitrous pass. So the wideband shut off, so we're gonna put an external one to see if we can make sure this one doesn't shut off. But and we pulled less timing. We pulled 10 degrees. Where now we got it at 4, so we'll see what difference it makes. But that was 369. Let's see what it does. Not sure if I got it. Did 280 360, 370 with the nitrous. So we're probably gonna go more nitrous, but this car used to run 7.2s on the 8th. NA no nitrous, making 230, so it should be a big difference now. Got the 8.8. The slicks aren't on it. You know, we don't put those on for the dyno. But we're gonna heat up the bottle and make another pass. $280 NA, and then $364
Porquería.
NA power.
Mira, me haga un cabrón. Que se prepare huele bicho